So before we start the practical side, there's just a few things that you're going to need to know about window film in general. Now the window film is at first prepped on the outside, it's cut and shrunk to the shape of the glass, and then it's installed on the inside. Now window film is accessible to us in two layers. We have a backing sheet and the window film itself. Now once you peel that backing sheet off, the window film is going to be very sticky. So if you try to put the film onto the glass, it will stick instantly. So what we need to do is we need to spray that sticky sided tint with soapy water, and that will enable for the film to have some glide and slip so we can move it in place. Now the backing sheet is also used to protect the film against any dust and contamination. So as soon as you peel that backing sheet away, all the dust and contamination can potentially land on the sticky side of the film, and then if you install it, it's going to be in the tint job forever. So this is why that we have to be as quick as possible once peeling that backing sheet. Now the way that window film is shrunk, it can only be shrunk up or down. You cannot shrink window film sideways. So when you roll it out the roll, it's designed to only be shrunk up or down. And the way that the window film is going to be shrunk is when you're heating down the fingers or spears. Now they're both the same thing. I will refer to them in the course either fingers or spears, but again, they're both just exactly the same thing. And what they're showing is that the film is not shrunk to the shape of the glass. So it's showing that it's uneven and you need to shrink these fingers down in order for the film to be the same shape as the glass. So as far as the water that's going to be sprayed on the sticky side of the film as soon as the backing sheet's peeled, it's soapy water. Very important, soapy water. Now what the soapy water does is it offers a glide. If we just try to install the film with just water on the sticky side of the film, it's just going to stick straight away and we're going to have no movement. So it's soapy water. Now with the soapy water, it doesn't really matter which soap you use as long as it's nothing too special. So the more expensive soap you get, they're going to have better ingredients in them and they're going to contain more and more things. So you just want to keep it nice and simple so you're not going to get any bits in the film. So I like to use Johnson's baby shampoo. Now obviously this is going to be for babies, so there's going to be no chemicals or ingredients in it. And I like to use 4 squirts per litre. So I remember when I first started, I really thought that this was an exact science, but it really isn't. So 4 little squirts, there's nothing too excessive per litre. Now if you use too much soap, the film is going to slip all over the place and it's going to take a while for it to dry in. Now the soap can very much depend on the time of year. So for instance, if you're in Florida, in America, it's going to be very hot. So you might want to offer more soap in the bottle to get more slip. Or if it's very cold and you're in Norway, for instance, then you're going to want to put less soap as the film won't dry anywhere near as quick as it would in Florida. So again, it's just best to find out what you find right for you. So another really important question is which way round does the film go? So when you're laying the film, you need to make sure that the backing sheet side is always facing you. Because if the backing sheet side was on the other side, when you've just cut and shrunk it, then you've effectively cut and shrunk it the wrong way around, as the sticky side needs to be facing me for me to be able to flip it around and stick it on the inside of the glass. So if it's the wrong way around, the sticky side is going to be facing outwards. Then when we put it on the inside, it's offering no stick. So again, we need the backing sheet to be facing us all the time when we're working with the film. Now a quick way to test to do this is take a bit of your roll out and see which way round your film manufacturer has put the backing sheet. Now the majority of film companies will always put the backing sheet on the outside of the roll, but there are a very few select companies that will actually put the backing sheet on the inside of the roll. So you just need to do a test just to find out which way round it is. And I'll just quickly show you a test now, just to show you the 2 different types of window film. So I'm just going to go through how important it is to make sure the backing sheet is always facing you. And I just want to show you a quick practical just so you can really understand it. So we're just going to tint this window here, and I'm just going to show you the difference when the backing sheet is on the wrong side. So I'm just going to tint this window, completely normal. And then I'm going to peel the film. See, the backing sheet is on the wrong side, so I peel the film from here. Then when I go to stick the sticky side against the glass, it's the wrong way around. So it needed to be this way round, but again, this side has no stick, the stick is this side, which is why we have to make sure the backing sheet is always facing us. Now this time, I know that the backing sheet is facing me. So when I cut it, then I peel the film. Because the backing sheet is this side, it'll peel off here. Then it's the right way round. So this is why it's so important to at first identify which way round your film is rolled, because we need the backing sheet to be facing us all the time. So there's two practicals that I want you to do before you start. And the first one is practicing cutting the film. So really important, we are going to be cutting on the glass, but we're going to be using stainless steel blades. Very important, stainless steel blades. They have to be stainless steel so that they don't scratch the glass. If you just try and buy a cheaper version from your local Home Depot or anything like that, they could potentially scratch the glass. So just make sure you get professional stainless steel blades. Very important. It will tell you on the box if it's stainless steel, and it'll also tell you on the blade itself with the marking. So what we're going to do, we're just going to lay a piece of film, not too big, on this rear screen. Now we're going to need to apply soapy water just for the film to stick to the rear screen while we're cutting it. So we're just going to grab our spray bottle and give it a little spray. Remember, there has to be soapy water in your bottle. There. So just the corner. So we don't want to waste too much film. So I'm just going to roll a small piece like this. Now this is going to slide around quite a bit. So in order for me to stop this sliding around, I'm going to have to anchor the film. So I'm going to use my 3M hard card. I'll just push the water out. There. Now it's not moving at all. Now with this, you need to make sure that you stick to the angles that I'm going to say. So you need to be under 30 degrees at all times. Now the lower you are to the glass with the angle of the blade, the less likely you're going to be to scratching the glass. And how we hold the knife, it's up to you how you feel comfortable. I personally just hold it with my finger and my thumb, just squeezing the knife. But some people like to put their finger on top just to get that extra pressure. So the first step we're going to do in this process is just practice cutting along the heat lines. So I'm going to grab my knife, I'm going to stick it 3 to 4 clicks out. Again, I hold my knife like this. I keep my angle nice and low, so I'm only around about 10 degrees here. Just try and cut along that heat line. So the first thing we want to see is, did we cut the whole way through the film? And there, so we can see that I did cut all the way through the films. Now when I train people, we can spend a few hours just practicing cutting the film, because you just have to get that right amount of pressure and the right angle. So again, if your knife blade is too open, it will blunt the blade very quickly and then it will scratch the glass. So we need the knife to be under 30 degrees. Now I just cut that, my angle was around about 10 degrees. So the lower you go, the better it's going to be. And we're just going to try it again, just underneath. Did it cut through? There. So if it's not cutting through, you need to apply more pressure, because it's quite hard to find the right pressure to use. Now you don't want to just press as hard as you can, because yes, it will always cut through, but then you're going to be at risk of blunting the blade. So here, so we passed that first test, and now we're just going to cut a few shapes. So we're going to cut a square on this heat line here. So along here, there. Just keep practicing this the whole way through, cutting out squares just to make sure you get the perfect pressure when applying the knife to the film on the glass. So if you know how hard to press and you feel like the knife is getting blunt, it's just not cutting through, the knife blades actually come with 13 sections to snap off. So what I do is I'll use a cloth and I'll push my blade so it's always facing down, and then you can just simply snap the blade, and again you get 13 snaps of the blade. So effectively you can do this 13 times. So we cut our square. Now I would recommend cutting squares all the way through. Cut at least 20 squares until you feel happy that you've got the right pressure. So now we've got all of our squares cut out, and as long as you're happy and you feel like you're ready to move on, that's when you're ready to move on. So with our other piece of film that we've got here, we're just going to take this away and stick it here. Then we're going to anchor this top section here, and we're just going to have a practice at peeling the backing sheet off. So we'll give it a little spray. Now this just offers a bit of slip and we're just trying to scratch the backing sheet off. Now I've been here before, believe it or not, for 10 minutes just waiting for someone to peel this backing sheet off. When you first start, it can be so frustrating, but like with all things, it will just get easier the more you do it. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off here. Remember, the film has to be the right way around for you to be able to peel the backing sheet off on this side. So we're just going to gently scratch the top, being very gentle. I'm just trying to get the tip of the backing sheet here. So this is just a practical I like to do at the beginning. It's just a very simple stage just for the understanding of the backing sheet and how it comes off. So we peeled off this section. Now we'll cut a square. Then we'll practice again here. And we'll cut a square. Then practice again here. Now you just want to do this again until you feel comfortable and you're ready to move on to the next stage. So it's just a quick practical that I wanted to go through with you, just so you can kind of get the basics of the window tinting. So another very important thing is the drying in process. Now I'm going to explain it like I would explain it to a customer, just so you can know the full breakdown. I'm going to start from the beginning. I know I've already covered a bit of this, but again, this is just my full breakdown that I've done so many times. So the window film is installed on the inside. Now it's installed with soapy water, and it will take a while for that water to completely dry out behind the film. So there is a thing called a drying in process. Now within that drying in process, the window film is going to look watery. So it's really important that you can distinguish the difference between water and air. Water will always dry. Now air is white bubbles, and that will never dry. So if it's water and the bubbles are completely see-through from the inside and the outside, and then you know it's going to dry. But air bubbles are see-through from the inside, from the outside it's a white bubble. So again, you will have water bubbles, and they can last for 3 to 4 weeks until the film completely dries. So even if you push all the water out at the start, they will congregate back, and it is a part of the drying in process. So from the outside, when you're looking at the film, it's going to look quite hazy and patchy. But again, all of this is a part of the drying in process, and it will sort itself out in 3 to 4 weeks depending on the weather. Now around the edge of most vehicles, they have a black ceramic frit edge. Now this is known as a dot matrix. It's a raised surface, it's built into the glass, and you cannot remove it. The window film cannot lay in and out of every single one of these dots. So what's going to happen when it dries is you're going to have a white border the whole way around, and it's going to be like a halo. And this is completely normal. Some vehicles it's going to stand out more than others, but again, this is a dot matrix border. Now when you first install the film, it's going to look quite patchy, so you're going to see some points where it's got a white border, and then some points where it's completely see-through. Now where it's see-through, that is because there's so much water in there that it's hiding the air. So once that dries out, you will have a border the whole way around. Very important, the drying in process. You might need to watch this section a few times just so you really understand, especially when you tint your first car. You might want to come back to this section just to make sure that what you're looking at is actually normal. Now the window film will always look worse than it ever will as soon as you tint it. Now what we like to do with our customers is we'll give them a warranty card. Now on this warranty card, it will explain all the drying in process. So we've really perfected this warranty card, and that's just to give customers total peace of mind, because there's nothing more concerning than water bubbles in the window film when they've just picked it up. So once you hand them the warranty card, it will effectively ease them, and it will explain about all the drying in process. Now we've attached this warranty card for you to use yourself. You could either have a look through it so you can understand the drying in process, or you could use it for yourself and give it to the customers. It's completely free. We've uploaded it in a PDF, and you're welcome to either print it off on a bit of paper to give to the customer, or you could get your own warranty cards made, very cheap, and it'll also make you look very professional. Now when you're ready, you've done all the steps, you feel happy, you understand window film, and then we're going to be ready to move on to module 2, which is tinting roll down windows.